We told them, do the right thing in the interest of justice. They said our mouth was smelling. They said we should carry our mouth and put one side. And we put our mouth one side. Look at now, the justice they failed to stand for, their actions are coming to bite them. Look at Ojiuzo Kalu. Look at Izunazo. Look at Smart Adeyemi. They are all wailing, weeping and crying. In fact, they are the typical example of the rich also cry. When it was time for them to defend equity, defend justice, they refused. They all came out and because of their own personal and selfish interests, started supporting Tinubu, which they knew was injustice, which they knew was inequitable. They knew, but they were supporting him because of their own personal interest, because of their own selfish interest. How has that gone now? Look at the announcement of the principal officers of the Senate and the principal officers of the House of Representatives. Look at the announcement. Ojiuzo Kalu sidelined. Izunazo sidelined. And they went and picked Okpeyemi Bamidele as the Senate majority leader. All this talk about, I'm a ranking member, I'm the chief whip. Where has he landed Ojiuzo Kalu now? The same thing happened to Smart Adeyemi, where he was rigged out by Yaya Bello. He was rigged out. The same Smart Adeyemi that also left equity, left justice, and decided to blindly support Tinubu. And he was even blindly supporting Bello too, in the hope of his personal interest of being a governor being granted. Was it granted? No. Look, stand for justice. Stand for justice. Because when you stand for justice, what goes round comes around. At the end of the day, the justice you stand for will pay off for you. But when you stand for injustice, at the end of the day, that injustice will come back and bite you. Ask Rochas Okorocha now. Ask Rochas Okorocha. Ask Wanjiuba. People who were supposed to stand for justice, but no, because of their own personal selfish interest, they stood for injustice. The same thing that Charles Soludo is also doing now. Instead of standing for justice in the hopes of his own personal interest too, we hear he wants to run for president. So he doesn't want a Peter Obi to be president to spoil his chance. And because of that, he decides that standing for injustice is the best thing to serve his own personal interest. And we also how he was embarrassed, thoroughly embarrassed at the inauguration of Tinubu, where he was given proper dress down and shown where to go and sit. He left all the inauguration of state governors that were happening in the southeast. He left them and decided that it was Tinubu's inauguration he was going. And then he got what he deserved. When it is not in your favor and when it is in your favor, stand for justice. That is the only way that society gets to develop. Stand for justice. Oh. We've said it. Oh. Another thing that is happening now that is affecting everybody. You know, I wish I could say, I told you so. I wish I could laugh because I said it. I said 99% of Tinubu supporters will soon begin to cry. Of course, I knew the big shots were going to cry, but not as heavily as they are crying now. But what I had in mind was even the majority, the downtrodden supporters, because they were downtrodden that were also supporting Tinubu blindly in the name of money will flow with Tinubu. Oh, Tinubu gives money. Oh, Tinubu helps people. You people failed to realize that the strategy of Tinubu is to divide and conquer. And how is that divide and conquer strategy implemented? He copied it from the British. He copied it from them. And it is, you see, if you have a population of 200 million Nigerians, and out of those 200 million, 199 million of them are poor. Then you have 1 million people that are rich. Tinubu has perfected that strategy of using the power of government to forcefully collect money from 199 million, the little money that they have. Even those that do not have the little they have, he forcefully uses the power of government to take that money away from them. And then you see, he uses the 1 million rich people to do it, to execute it. And then he gives part of those money to those 1 million rich people. And then he now comes out to say, you see, I am helping people. Look at the people I have helped. Meanwhile, it is the resources of the majority that he has taken from them forcefully, using the force of government, using the power of government, and then uses it to empower these few rich people. That is what Tinubu is doing. And you see, the truth remains that no matter how much you shout and hope that Tinubu will help you, he cannot help all Nigerians. All those of you that were shouting, money will flow, money will flow. How far? How market? Is the money flowing now? All the policies that Tinubu has enacted now, is it favoring you? Is there a special filling station now for APC supporters that where they buy fuel cheaper? Where they buy fuel for 100 naira per liter? Is there a special filling station for them? Is there a special market where they buy food cheaper? Is there a special hospital where they spend less for medical care? Is there a special school where they get quality education at cheap rate? Is there a special school? I wish I could say I told you so. But I cannot, because the suffering touches everybody. I cannot. I said this was going to happen. And it's happening. I don't feel so happy that it's happening, because it's touching innocent Nigerians. But the truth still remains, and it must be told. You caused it. When we said do the right thing, stand up for justice, you chose the path of selfish interest. You were hoping that Tinubu will benefit you personally. You were thinking that money will flow. And many of you came out to say it, that Tinubu will make money to flow, that money will flow with Tinubu. You said it that, oh, Peter Obi does not give shishi, and because of that, he will hold the money that is supposed to be spent on the people. But of course, the truth remains that when you have a leader that does not have avarice, that is not selfish, that is not gluttonous, a leader that is not about capturing, taking, what happens is that it is the average Nigerians that benefit. Only the people who were selfish, who were corrupt, complained that they did not get money under Peter Obi's 2 terms as governor. Only those people. Because what happened is that he took the money and made the money to flow to the people at the downtrodden. That was what happened. But you people believe the propaganda of APC, that Peter Obi not a give shishi, that he will hold money will not flow with Peter Obi. And then you believe their propaganda that money will flow under Tinubu. Is the money flowing now? In fact, rather than the money to flow, Tinubu is locking all the taps. And what he is doing, every means necessary to collect the money, the little ones that you do not have, he wants to collect them. Look at what he has done now with professional bodies. He has announced that he will stop funding professional bodies. This is significant because, you see, professional bodies were those that felt comfortable. They are the technocrats. They are those that felt comfortable, that they can support Tinubu and their money will flow. They can support Tinubu and then they will continue to enjoy the perks of their office. That Peter Obi will hold money. It is Tinubu that will let money to flow. It was the professional bodies. They kept quiet. They were indifferent. They thought it will not affect them. But look at what is happening now. Tinubu coming out to say that he will stop funding of professional bodies. If you guys know what is good for you, you better come and join the bandwagon of obedience. Let's reclaim this mandate together so that the thing can be better for everybody. Because the way things are going now, look, it is only Tinubu and his friends and his very close friends that are benefiting from the situation in the country right now. It is only them. Every other person is being affected by it, from the highest to the smallest. Look at the likes of them, Odius or Kalu now. Look at the likes of them, Smart Adeyemi now. Look at the likes of them, Izunazo now. Look at them. They are crying, they are weeping. Where's Rotimi Amechi now? Stand up for justice. You say, no, it is injustice you want to stand for. Now, another painful thing that will happen with this defunding of the professional bodies is this. The cost will be transferred to you. Look at an organization like the Nigerian Midwifery Association, Midwives and Nurses Association. Defunding that organization means that all the institutions, the nursing schools that those organizations oversee, what will happen? Those will increase their prices. At the end of the day, who bears the brunt? The average Nigerians out there, you and I, who want our children, our sisters, our daughters to become nurses. Those are the ones that will bear the brunt. It is time for us as Nigerians to stand up for justice. We cannot continue. We cannot afford to stand idly by and say, "No concern me," because at the end of the day, with the way Tinubu is going, it will touch you. No matter how highly placed or how safe you think you are, it will touch you. All these things about Japa, not everybody can Japa. The countries you want to Japa to cannot take everybody. They are restricting it. So at the end of the day, it is the people they want to use to grow their economy that they will allow. And by the way, it is not everybody that can afford to Japa. So all this hope and anticipation of Japa is not going to help everybody, only a few. And the remainder of us that are still in the country, we are all going to suffer it. So it is in the interest of all of us, for you and I, to stand up for what is right. Right now, let us focus our attention on the judiciary and do whatever we can within our powers to do the right things and get our mandate back. And also not to forget that we should put pressure. This so-called increase in the pump price of fuel is unjust. It is evil. It is something that must be reversed. And we cannot get this reversal if you and I sit idly by and refuse to speak in the name that, this too shall pass. It will not pass. It will only get worse. They are already contemplating increasing the pump price to 700 in the name of market forces, because they will tell you when they fixed 540 naira per liter, it was 460 naira to a dollar. Now they have devalued. Dollar is over 770 naira to a dollar, even at the official market. So they will tell you that, the price of fuel needs to go up to 750 naira per liter. And to do that, to deceive you properly and thoroughly, they will first of all come and tell you that, the price of petrol has come down to 480 or to 490. You see, market forces, it has come down small. So when it goes up to 750, you will not complain. It is all a deception. It is all propaganda, all a gimmick. What you and I need to do is stand for a reduction, a reversal, 100%. If NLC will not do it, it is left for you and I to do it. All this talk about, NLC asking for minimum wage of 200,000 naira, that is just a joke. It is a joke. When they started and they were blowing fire and brimstone, I thought they were serious. But right now, it is obvious that they have been pocketed. Because all this talk about 200,000 naira minimum wage, who is going to pay you 200,000 naira minimum wage? Who? We are having minimum wage of 30,000 right now. About 16 states or more cannot pay it. And you're talking about 200,000. Meanwhile, even if the 200,000 naira minimum wage is granted to federal government workers, how many are the government workers? How many? How many? The whole population of the Federal Civil Service of Nigeria is about 1.2 million, less than 1.5 million. Meanwhile, you have a population of 133 million plus 8 million, again, that's 141 million extremely poor Nigerians. How are they going to cope? So whether or not NLC leads this fight, we should stand up for ourselves and ensure that these policies are reversed. Nobody is talking about the corruption that has gone on in that sector. Even when people like former governors are coming out to say that the first subsidy was a fraud. Even when you have intellectuals, doctors at the universities coming out to say that there was no such thing as fuel subsidy, we are still not having a proper discussion as to whether those people should be exposed, whether those monies should be recovered, We're not having that discussion. Meanwhile, that's the discussion we should be having. The solution we should be having that should be applied by a serious government should be those people who collected those monies fraudulently should return those money. That's the proper solution. But no, the Tinubu-led administration chooses to punish average Nigerians by transferring the fraud to them. They are the ones that are now paying for the fraud of a few Nigerians in the name of increase in the pump price of petrol. We cannot keep quiet, and we must not keep quiet. We must stand up for what is right. Because if you think it will not touch you, it will soon come to touch you. Them, all Jews or Kalu didn't think it would touch them. Now it is touching them. Them smarter DME didn't think it would touch them. Now it is touching them. The professional bodies, the technocrats that refuse to speak, and many of them refuse to do the right thing. They thought it wouldn't touch them. They thought they were safe. Now it is coming to touch them. So if you think it would touch you, it will come and touch you. This thing is touching everybody. Even the celebrities, it is touching them. The high ups in the society, it is touching them. It will come and touch you. Unless you and I take action. Let's stand up and speak. Talk. What you just need to do is talk. You need to talk. We cannot be quiet. When you're quiet, they will come and say that Nigerians are happy with APC. They're happy with Tinubu. Like we have seen a young APC member come and say that Nigerians are singing Kumbaya. Like seriously. That Nigerians, Tinubu is winning over the hearts and minds of Nigerians. It's because you're quiet. Wherever you are, at least, even if you cannot come out and protest, which we should be doing, even if you cannot do that, you should at least speak up. In your small space, in your WhatsApp group, talk. In your little work area, talk. In online spaces, put a comment. Leave a like for comments that speak the true state of things. That way, the message will get to the likes of Tinubu. The message will get to the judges. And they will know to do the right thing. Keeping quiet is the reason why evil succeeds in the society. Not because evil is strong. Not because evil is powerful. No. But when the just people refuse to talk, then evil gains ground. So all of these things that are happening are gaining ground because you and I refuse to talk. So it is time for us to talk. Right time for us to talk.